Can you talk a little bit about how putting rival schools together was challenging and how you've addressed those challenges over the years as a community member?
As a community member, like I said, the consolidation came about probably in the early 90s to mid 90s. The county, the administration, the educational system starting to see the enrollment, the population was starting to drop a little bit in the county. The jobs weren't as plentiful at that time, so naturally the population started to drop. And when the population started to drop, that's when the administration saw, that there was probably going to be a need to close some schools.
How many high schools were you operating?
At that time, 6. We had 6 high schools in the early 90s, and like I said, population was starting to diminish some, so they thought, the best way to educate our students would be to close a couple of these schools and try to build a more modern school that would offer more, curriculum-wise, offer more to our students in the county to give them a better chance to succeed in the world we live in today.
And do you think that worked?
Yes, very much so.
So
I think, like I said, I'm from the western part of the county in the Osana area. The first bond levy that was put before the voters, I think, was in like '92. It did not pass. The second one, I think in '95, did not pass. And the basic reason was, it's just like all across the state, people hate to give up their schools because that's their community. We all live in small rural communities, so therefore you hate to lose your school, because when you lose that school, it gives you a sense of losing something, like a family member. Mm-hmm. So therefore, when they were having the town hall meetings in the mid-90s to promote consolidation, to close Mullins and Pineville, to build one school for those 2 schools, to close Osana and Batesville, to build a new school for that area, people were against it basically because they didn't want to relinquish their schools. Mm-hmm. It's like part of the family. You don't want to lose a part of your family. But in the late 90s, whenever the second bond levy was voted down, the administration went to the SBA, and asked them to help them build one school here in the county to close Mullins, Pineville, Glen Rogers, Herndon into one big school. They got the money and they built this school. And once the county and the residents saw this school built, they saw what consolidation could produce in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Bigger building, nicer facilities, more teachers, more curriculum available to them than was at the other schools in the other end of the county. So then the people from the western part of the county saw, hey, if Wyoming East and Pineville Mullins can do it, why can't we? And it's been a great transition for both schools, for Osana and Batesville. Mm-hmm. After they see now what they have there now, I don't think they would ever go back. Never go back.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about the enhancements with some of the sports, which is also very important in our county. Can you talk a little bit about how the curriculum was enhanced?
The curriculum is enhanced because they've been able to offer more as far as advanced courses. We've been able to offer a lot of AP courses, dual credit courses in the new consolidated schools compared to in the older schools. We didn't have the available space, we didn't have the teachers, we didn't have the qualified teachers. Now we do have the qualified teachers that do teach the advanced courses, the dual credit courses, and it makes for, like I said, it makes for our students being more and better prepared when they do leave here to go to college or to move on to a career field. We have an excellent vocational program here in our county that both high schools go to. Offers a wide variety of different curriculum at the vocational school that the students, if they choose not to go to college, that there is options out there where they can make a good living by going to their vocational school.
Yeah. Was it harder for the kids to consolidate or for the parents to consolidate?
That's a good question. The consolidation at both schools, the transition for the students has been smooth, not hardly any problems at all. The biggest problem we've had has been with parents. Parents, like you said, they were resentful. They didn't want to let go of their community school. So therefore, once we got the students in the buildings, the students have blended in, and there's no longer a Pineville Mullins per se now. There's no longer a Osana, Batesville. It's a West Side Wyoming East thing now. It's not like the parents. Some of the parents still wear Mullins blue. Some still wear the Pineville maroon, yeah. And the same way in the western part of the county. But as far as the students go, no problem, really. It's been a great transition for the students. I just wish that the adults would have came on board as easily as the students did.
One of the issues that we're starting to face as we go and talk to people are concerned about having a lot of students in one place as opposed to in their small schools where, you know, it's a smaller environment. As far as like drugs and violence and gangs, and those are the concerns that we're hearing around the county. What kind of, has any of that increased, decreased? What's the status of like problem students?
Right,
Everybody has.
That was one of the worries as well, because naturally, Wyoming County is not immune, just like the other counties. We have drug problems, and what we are very vigilant in monitoring the students at the school. The board is worked in collaborative efforts with the Sheriff's Department. We have drug dogs. The county is also, the Board of Education has implemented a drug testing policy for all students that participate in extracurricular activities. Any student that participates, I mean, if it's in theater, band, anything that's after school, they're required to submit the drug test randomly, and that's worked out well. Like I said, we have the drug dogs that the Sheriff's Department comes into our 2 high schools unannounced, probably 2 to 3 times a year, and knock on wood, I don't think actually they've ever found any kind of drugs in the school. Now, they have found some in some automobiles, out in the parking lot, and when they did, we expelled those students that brought the car to the school. No questions asked. It was on their property, so we expelled them for the rest of the school year.
Do you think that would be easier or more difficult to manage at a consolidated school, or?
No, because, well, you know, our numbers when they first opened up this school, 9 through 12 was probably around 850. Now 9 through 12 is down to about 550. So, you know, we've got a big building, but we don't have, you know, the large number of enrollment right now. And like I said, we have 1 principal, 2 assistant principals that are very vigilant in monitoring, taking care of the school. Faculty is heavily involved. You know, there's never a time that anything that's going on in this school, whether they're changing classes, eating lunch, that the faculty is required to be there, to be monitoring all the students. You know, each teacher is assigned bathroom duty. So therefore, you know, we try to keep all bases covered. We try to, you know, monitor the students at all times when they're here on the property. And, you know, the kids, you know, they're going to do what you let them by with. So therefore, we just try to keep an eye on them. That way, they know they're not getting by.
Commute's an issue at all? Busing?
No, it hasn't been a problem at all. You know, we have one area in the county that's in the Glen Fork area that was pretty much, I guess you could say, that was in the middle of the road between the 2 high schools. And what we did was we just went ahead and give these kids the option. Do you want to go to West Side, or you want to go to Wyoming East? And we do that, we still do that every year. When the students leave Glen Fork Elementary in 8th grade, they're given the option to come here or to go to West Side, and we provide busing for either one. So, busing issue has not been a problem. We have, you know, we have some excellent bus drivers. We have some good people that take care of our transportation, buses and all that system and everything. Like I said, naturally, you know, we've had a few incidents where there's been a few accidents here and there, but that's going to happen anywhere.
Yeah, true.
But as far as the transportation, not been a problem because, well, if you look out here in the parking lot, a lot of the students drive to school.
Yeah, right.
So the transportation is not an issue for the students. You know, they like driving to school anyway.